Title: The Last Motel. It was nearly midnight when Ethan spotted the neon vacancy sign flickering through the dense fog. His phone had died hours ago, and the road had stretched on in endless darkness. He pulled into the cracked asphalt parking lot, eyeing the dilapidated structure. The sign above the office read Misty Pines Motel, though half the letters had burned out, leaving only glowing dimly. Ethan sighed, grabbed his overnight bag and stepped inside the lobby. The air smelled of mildew and something faintly metallic. Behind the desk sat a frail-looking man, his skin pale and waxy as if he hadn't seen daylight in years. He smiled, a slow, unnatural stretch of the lips. "Room for one?" the man asked, voice barely above a whisper. Ethan nodded, handing over cash. The clerk slid an old-fashioned brass key across the counter. Room 6. End of the hall. The corridor leading to his room was eerily quiet. The carpet squelched slightly underfoot, and Ethan swore he could hear faint whispers just beyond his hearing. He shook it off. It was probably the wind, or just his tired mind playing tricks on him. The room was small, musty but adequate. A single lamp flickered weakly on the nightstand. The bathroom door stood slightly ajar, showing a cracked mirror above the sink. As he set his bag down, he noticed something odd. The closet door was open just a crack. He was sure he hadn't touched it. He walked over and yanked it open. It was empty. Shaking his head, he undressed and collapsed onto the stiff mattress. He was out within minutes. Sometime in the night, a sound pulled him from sleep. A soft, rhythmic tapping. Tap, tap, tap. His eyes fluttered open. The room was dark except for the sickly yellow glow of the lamp. The noise was coming from the closet. He sat up, his pulse thudding. "Hello?" Silence. Ethan exhaled, running a hand through his hair. "Just my imagination," he muttered. Then the tapping came again. This time it was faster. More insistent. As if something was inside the closet trying to get out. Ethan's breath hitched. He reached for his phone, forgetting it was dead. His eyes locked onto the closet door, still slightly ajar. The darkness inside was thick, almost too dark, as though the space beyond wasn't a closet at all, but a void. The tapping stopped. For a moment nothing moved. Then the door creaked open just an inch more. A single, gnarled finger slipped into view, curling around the edge of the door. Ethan's blood turned to ice. He scrambled back against the headboard, heart hammering against his ribs. The door swung wider, revealing a gaunt, skeletal figure crouched within the closet. Its skin was stretched tight over its bones, eyes black pits that reflected no light. It tilted its head, lips peeling back in a grin that showed rows of needle-like teeth. Ethan lunged for the nightstand lamp, knocking it over. The room plunged into darkness. And then he heard it. Movement. Quick, skittering movement. It was coming closer. He fumbled for the door, nearly tripping over his bag. His fingers closed around the knob, yanking it open just as the thing lunged. He didn't look back, just ran. The hallway was impossibly long. No end in sight. The walls seemed to pulse, the dim overhead lights flickering. Behind him, the thing was following. He could hear the wet scrape of its limbs against the carpet. A door stood ajar at the end of the hall. The lobby. Salvation. He sprinted for it, his breath ragged. Just as he reached the door, something cold brushed his ankle. He stumbled forward, crashing into the lobby. Silence. The clerk was still behind the desk, watching him with an unreadable expression. Something wrong? Ethan spun around. The hallway was empty. No flickering lights. No impossible stretching corridors. Just a dingy, mundane motel hallway. He turned back to the clerk, chest heaving. "There was something in my room." "Something?" The man only smiled, that unnatural smile again. "Oh, you must have met the other guest. Room 6 has always been occupied." Ethan didn't wait. He bolted for the exit, not even bothering with his bag. The cold night air hit his face as he sprinted to his car, fumbling with the keys. He threw himself inside, locking the doors. The engine roared to life and he peeled out of the lot, gravel spraying behind him. In his rearview mirror, the neon sign flickered again. But now, for the first time, all the letters glowed. No vacancy. And standing beneath it was the clerk, watching him go. And beside him was the thing from the closet. Still grinning. Ethan drove until the sun rose, only stopping at a busy diner. He stumbled inside, still shaking. He needed coffee, needed something normal. The waitress approached with a smile. "Rough night, honey?" He nodded. "Yeah, I stayed at this creepy old motel." "Misty Pines?" The waitress's expression changed instantly. Her smile faded. "Misty Pines?" she echoed. "Sweetheart, that place burned down 30 years ago." Ethan's stomach dropped. "No, I was just there. Room 6, the guy at the desk." The waitress took a step back, shaking her head. "Room 6? That was the room of the last guest before the fire. They never found his body." A chill slithered down Ethan's spine. Then his phone vibrated. He stared at it. The battery had been dead. Slowly, with trembling fingers, he lifted it. One new message. No number. No name. Just 2 words. "Come back. Thank you for listening." Please like and subscribe for more.